Let's look at how we can create micro prong setting in TiaraCAD. So opting for setting, micro prong setting, select curve, select which view we are working on and the gem shape. Observe it will be starting from the center as a default unless you specify otherwise. So for example, if I were to say no, do not start from the center, it is starting from the end and stopping here. You can play with the gem count accordingly. If you specify from center, it will start in such a way that it will have equidistance from both sides. Now when it comes to these options, have a look. I can go into the micro prong setting options. This is where I first determine how much metal should be away from the diamond. Let's say I make this 0.1. The time it takes is because it is also doing the cutting exercise or the Boolean difference of the cutter exercise. There is also something called as the length here, which is going to be cutting. I'm decreasing the cutter length cutter fillet to 0.15 so that I get a smooth cut here. In case I do not want the cutter to go straight down, I need it to be stopping in between. Once you say OK to it, it will get baked as a regular poly surface. In case you want, you can always opt to bake the cutters, like we have seen before in other videos. Let's do the same thing for a circular curve. I'm just refreshing all the parameters before selecting the curve. Sometimes it will not. Sometimes the cutters may not be exactly as per your requirement. In these cases, please bake the cutters. When you bake the cutter, sometimes they may not come as per your requirement. In those cases, please bake the cutters. So let's say I want the horizontal cutter as well. I can simply bake it. And I will have each one of them available separately also. If I look at it from the top view, you will realize in case there is enough distance, it will not be tapered. Else, if I have an S shape, or let's look at even this example. I'm just refreshing everything, saying select curve. Observe that the cutters will not be tapered when there is a straight line, whereas in case of a curve, you will find it slightly tapered. You can always play with these options as well. For example, if I make this 2.2, it will be tapered. So right now I'm just going ahead and saying OK to get an output. Let's do the same thing on a curve, on surface. Refreshing it. I know I want a horizontal cutter, so just keeping it activated. Set curve. Let's change the parameters as well. So I know that I need this on a particular surface, which means I need to give additional surface input also. Might as well refresh it. Set curve, set surface. Before I change my gem shape or choose my gem shape, I want to change the gem sizes. So let's say I make this 1.3. Now if I am going to reduce the gem size, I know I have to also play with my cutter sizes. So let's change this maybe to 0.6, gem shape. Observe, it is now going to be aligned to the surface that we have chosen. See? Perfectly aligned to the surface. Let's just say OK. I'm going to hide this. And you can see it is perfectly placed as required.